Good morning, everybody. This is Today with Tim. I'm Tim, coming at you from the Midwest Hub in Sterling, Illinois. Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, August 14th, 2021, and I have the opportunity and privilege of being at the Firehouse Ministries Museum. Pastor Brian Tribbley and his wife Elizabeth run Firehouse Ministries of God in Sterling, Illinois. And I have the opportunity to tour their firehouse this morning. I was here 2 years ago. They had an event with kids and a little cookout so the kids can come and see the fire engines and people in the local community. But there's a real history with the Firehouse Museum. And Firehouse Ministries Fire Museum is housed in the former Rock Falls Fire Department, which includes 3 antique former Rock Falls fire trucks, 2 Sterling antique fire engines, Keystone Company 1884 hose cart, and other firefighting equipment. And the museum offers educational tours, children's firefighting activities during special events. So a lot of the schools will, call and plan to come out and bring their different groups. So as we come on in, this is Firehouse Museum, and I have the privilege of being with Jim Issenhart, Pastor Brian Tribbley's father-in-law, and he maintains and runs the museum. Hi, Jim.
I work hard at it, but
He works hard at it, yeah.
It keeps up with me.
Right, and so Jim, Brian Tribbley and Elizabeth started Firehouse back, I came on board, with the ministry in 2017, so it was 2011.
Around 2011, we were interested in the building. My son-in-law, Brian, being a firefighter on the Rock Falls Fire Department, likes fire trucks and likes firefighting, likes to help people and rescue people.
Right.
And that's how they got started with it. But the city was going to bulldoze this building. It was covered with moss. You couldn't see it. You didn't know whether it was a plant or a building. But anyway, we all got together, family members and volunteers. We're all volunteers anyway, and got it all cleaned up, and it had been caved in, and so many other things happened. So I'll let Tim continue. But
no.
It was originally, to clarify, this was the original Keystone Hose Company was the building, and they made fire hoses, put fire hoses together, sold fire hoses. We've got an 1885 original hose reel with the great big wheels that they used to pull by hand, and of course these things go back to the horse and buggy days. That was in 1876 when Keystone Hose Company, and then I went back to, I think the original Rock Falls Fire Department was formed, and it became a certified member going toward the 1900s. So that's
right.
when, it was at one time, this was a city hall, the fire department, the police department, and the jail, all in one big long complex here. But this goes back to those days.
That's
so
great,
There's
Jim.
a lot of history here.
There's a lot of history there. Well, that's awesome, Jim, and I appreciate this opportunity for a little tour. I know most people in the community know about Firehouse Ministries. I came on board in 2017 with Pastor Brian as I'm finishing up, as many of you know, my education. I have a year left at Western Illinois University in the communications degree program. So this is just really nice to be able to get different insights and opportunities. And when I first was here, it was 2 years ago when you had the little setup there. I was so impressed. So why don't you give us a tour, Jim? And this is one of the fire trucks I see.
One of the things that branched out here was you did give room for us to accept a fire truck that was donated to us for the Pink Heels Ministry, which is, we go out and visit cancer victims and those that are struggling, those that are fighting, and many that have passed away. And you'll see names all over here that ride around wherever they go. And there's chapters all across the country now. But we've been able to do the same things they did. Somebody gave us a truck and said, "Here, go with it," and we've been able to do the same with others, and in a couple cases. So we've got people out there representing pink eels, but it's become a big part of the ministry, of course.
So that's for people that are fighting breast cancer, women survivors, and their families.
Yeah, and we go out and help them build them up while they're fighting, and many have survived, and of course the other ones, God has them in His hands. But there's names on here from all over the place that people come here and that we go to visit.
Well, let's take a tour, Jim. I'll let you lead the way. This is awesome. I see now this right here, Rock Falls Fire Department. That was, what year would you say that is? And that's your entry area. Welcome to Firehouse Ministries. And then this truck here.
That's a 1928 Persh. 1928 Peter Persh fire engine. It still runs. They do take it in parades from time to time. It's still drivable and gets out there and goes, but it, like the early trucks or early cars, they all have a little quirk to them. This one is hard to steer with no power steering, but it's still in good shape, good running shape. It was restored in the early 70s. It's a genuine, guaranteed to work morning.
And it could still run in operation if you really wanted it to today.
I think, as far as I know, the pump is still in good shape to pump water, and but we just do take it out on strictly show.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So we've got stuff from all over the country here that we've been collected, donated to us, all kinds of relics that have been donated from other fire departments.
Okay, great. And so we'll walk this way. So I like this. Come this way. And what we got, supporting women, raising awareness for breast cancer. I like that. And all the people sign the truck. Is that right, Jim?
That's right.
Well, I think it's wonderful with Pastor Brian and Elizabeth that they do this. Now, can I ask you, was this their idea to start Pink Hills?
No, it was started by a fellow, I believe, either from Indiana or not Arkansas, but out west anyway. He developed it, and it grew, and he did the thing with getting other trucks together, getting other people together in different areas of the country, and it's grown and grown and grown in that period of time till there's chapters. Like I said, this is actually the Sauk Valley chapter of the Pink Hills organization. So,
and then you have all these pink fire helmets.
When we do go out to visit people in the home and in their homes, or if they come here to sign the truck that are fighting, and we do fix up make use of some old air tanks and the old fire helmets and clean them up. We've got a gentleman that likes to clean those things up and paint them pink, and so we give them as gifts to many of the people we go out to visit.
Right, and then I guess as we come over here, I notice all kinds of like toy fire trucks, the ones they originally make. Bring our camera here. As I say, we kind of go along. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole wide range of fire extinguishers. And Jim, was this all made from steel, like local communities? A lot of the stuff, or
well,
because it seems antique.
Well, there's a lot of antique stuff in here that go back to the beginning of firefighting as we know it. There's all kinds of new equipment to help, like pump air to a fireman that needs air, oxygen, and so.
And then over here, this is very impressive. I really appreciate you letting me volunteer, Jim, here today. This is very nice. I see we got a whole display of sirens, little hoses. This is beautiful right here.
We've got a lot of equipment that dates back a ways. It's been replaced with new things. Up on top of the racks here, we've got a lot of light bars and different lights and equipment.
I like this one right here. Bring the camera up closer right here. We have this Federal Sign and Signal Corporation, which was probably an American company that made that. It's from Blue Island, Illinois.
Yep.
Made in the USA. Super Beacon Ray. That was one of the big fire engine sirens.
That's one of the big, actually a light, a strobe light, and it's one of the old ones. The big light bars came later,
Right.
with needing a whole lot of juice to power them up. But we've got all kinds of old fire extinguishers. I actually sold some of these fire extinguishers when I was in high school, and that goes back in the 50s. But like there's one there that's got carbon tetrachloride in it that they would break if the heat got too high. You'd put it somewhere where you wanted to protect, and it would break, and the liquid would flow over and put the fire out. But like Tim said, we've got all kinds of different
And
memorabilia
Jim, wanted
here.
to ask you, so when was this the original firehouse and police station? What year was that?
Well, 1885 is when the Keystone Hose Company was here, and that we'll have him get a picture of that reel back there that dates back to that date. It came out of this
Okay. Yes, that would be awesome.
building. But it was the 1900s when we became, not we, but the firefighting company of Rock Falls Fire Department kind of began. I mean, let's face it, it was horse and buggies.
I remember, yes.
Horse-drawn equipment and people-drawn equipment.
And so the families and people at that time, if a fire happened, and even up currently, like that fire we had at the high-rise there, imagine something like that back in the day. So we've come a long way, and in our technology and our development in all areas and aspects, for first responders, police officers, firefighters, and all the people that put their lives, on the line for us. But no, this is very impressive.
If you look at the buckets, you can go back to a lot of years with the containers. People used to have to pass back, one to the other to get to the fire and dump a pail of water on it.
Exactly. Yes. No. I'm very impressed with this, Jim, and you and your family, Firehouse Ministries, have done so much for the Rock Falls community. I just want to say it's just wonderful.
If you look at some of the uniforms here, you'll see it says Police, Fire, Rock Falls, Illinois, because at one time it was the fire department and the police department, and like I said, even the jail. There's some pictures on the other side of the wall here and a whole timeline of the Rock Falls Fire Department. And we like to give tours and like to have people see that and see what progress has been made along the lines of fighting the fires.
So
saving
schools, other church groups come here in the community, and
we have people come. I had people come a couple of weeks ago from Italy. Had some here from India. We've had people from many states that come and see us listed in the directories that are left in hotels and motels.
well, that's why I wanted to do this podcast. It's just a way to kind of shed light and just really show an in-depth tour for maybe people that haven't had a chance or heard of Firehouse Museum. We got this, and so this, yes. So these are all the pictures of We have some sun here, so we might need to come in so we have a good shot there. This is the early 1900s.
You can see how it took place. First of all, it was horse-drawn stuff, and then it went to some rather antique vehicles and.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we have the 1930s and 40s, 1950s and 60s, and then on down. Jim had a person that he had to visit, a visitor come, and then this is an old Sterling fire truck. (1923) Sterling engine number 2. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of history. Firehouse Museum of God, Sterling, Illinois. Jim, this was very impressive. Yes.
Good to have you here. Share some things with the outside
Yes,
world.
Jim, thank you very much. I really appreciate the tour of Firehouse Museum today, and you have a very blessed day.
Come back and see us again.
I will. This is Today with Tim, signing off for August 14th, 2021, and I hope everybody has a very blessed weekend. Thank you.